I heard what John said at the end. Would have been, the comeback of the decade or whatever it was. It would have been the largest comeback win by anyone this season, that's for sure. I don't know about the decade. But I think that I'm looking at this two ways, Kappy.
Okay, let me hear.
So let's start half glass full.
Okay, give it to me. Let's hear positivity.
Half glass full. They were down 26.
Full. Okay, yeah, keep going.
It would have been a disastrous loss. Like, let's play it out for a second. If we're doing this show today, they lose by 26. What's the reaction today?
They stink. I told you they stink. They're not going to be able to get any better. They're not winning a championship this year, and everybody just better buckle up because this is who they are, and this is who they are until LeBron is no longer part of the team. So that's the if they lost by 26, that's the instant reaction this morning. Keep going.
Okay, I don't know why LeBron gets blamed for this, but nonetheless.
No, it's not blaming LeBron. I'm saying to you, you said, what if they lost by 26?
Right.
The reaction would be they're not going to move forward until they start adding pieces, and they're not going to start adding pieces until they get done with LeBron. That's my they lost by 26 reaction.
Got it.
Okay, now keep going.
Now, I like the fact that they did fight to get back in the game. I think that when I watch teams in professional or college, really, now, I think to myself, what is their response when they are down? What is their response when they're getting their ass kicked, right?
Getting it handed to them.
Can they stay focused to be able to inch their way back in? Kind of like I had to stay focused while you were doing the air drums just a second.
Right. I know. Well, you were talking. I was just still hitting that bass, slapping that thing.
Right.
And then I was drumming along, Pete Townsend was singing, Keep going. Right. I'm into you this morning. I am so focused on what you're saying. Keep going.
So I like that they fought. I like that they fought. I think that, to me, that shows the sign of, hey, there's still some level of belief and professionalism on the team, because plenty of teams would have mailed it in at that point. I've seen it, okay? I've seen it already plenty of times here in January. So that's the glass half full. The glass half empty is sort of some of the stuff you already alluded to, which is they're not good enough. They're heading in a completely wrong direction at the moment. They're 3-6 in their last 9. If you extrapolate that out even further, they're still under 500 by a number of games. Meanwhile, the Clippers, who were 6-21 to start the season, are 14-3 since then. And while the Clippers are in the play-in and the Lakers are hanging on to a playoff spot at the moment, the teams just seem to be heading in completely different directions. And I don't love the direction the Lakers are going in. I think this will be more of the norm. I've told you the schedule only gets tougher as we get into February and beyond. So I really think that if you want to avoid the play-in, if you're the Lakers, and I don't know, like I get what Brian told you about, not wanting to waste a year of Luka, but that seems cool now. But in retrospect, remember what he did say, right? When we were talking about the LeBron stuff and the Westbrook stuff, he's like, everybody goes to their corners and starts pointing, right? So eventually, as things go wrong, then there's the possibility of the Luka camp being like, well, I mean, you guys didn't really do anything that season. Like, what was he supposed to do? Because what's going to happen is, if they flounder this year, it's going to be, well, LeBron to some extent, but they're going to be like, he's 41 years old. But the other part of it is going to be, it's going to fall on Luka's head. It's going to be, well, dude, you're one of the best players in the sport. Yeah, you got into good shape, but you're still not playing defense the way you should be playing defense if you want to be truly the best player in the sport, which he has the capability of being. I'm not saying that that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying that's what the narrative will be at that point. He's going to get blamed for this. Then it'll be like some LeBron blame. Then it'll be the front office, and they didn't do anything. But it's always going to land on the star's head if this thing flounders.
Who's blaming, in this scenario, who's blaming Luka?
I'm just saying the media at large will start to do that. Fans will do that. That will be what will happen.
Oh, see, to me, a couple of thoughts here. First and foremost, you start off with, they're down 26 points, and you say that you like that they fought back. And I will grant you that they did. The Lakers went on a massive run to make that game look competitive and make that game look close. They never took the lead. Right. They never, got it down to like 2 where you're like, hey, listen, if they drop this 3, they're going to make this comeback. I mean,
I think it was 103-99 was the closest, right?
So they got it close.
Yeah.
But I don't know about everybody else. I never thought they were really going to win the game. In fact, I'll tell you this, there's about 3.5 minutes to go. Yeah. The Clippers have a lead, and Kawhi's sitting on the bench.
Right.
And I'm thinking to myself, this game doesn't seem over. It seems like it's still up in the air, even though the Clippers have, whatever it may have been at the time, 5, 6, 7 point lead, 6, 7. I just was like, why is Kawhi sitting on the bench? In fact, not only was Kawhi sitting on the bench, he had a T-shirt on that I was like, is he not coming back into the game?
Now, let's be transparent here.
Yeah. Wow.
You were making those observations clearly because I saw them on our group text as well.
And I will be transparent. Make no mistake.
But I believe there was a little more to that other than just you were wondering if Kawhi was going to come back in the game for the purposes of the Clippers winning the game.
2 thoughts were going on in my mind. 1, do the Clippers feel like this game is over and Kawhi can just sit on the bench? And then, of course, the more selfish perspective, which was get his ass back in the game. I've got him for more than 33.5 points, rebounds, and assists on Prize Picks. Yes. Yes, make no mistake. That's the way I'm watching the game. But here's the thing, George. You say that the Lakers battled back, and I'm actually glad you mentioned that. Because during the game, your boy, Dwayne Wade, was on the broadcast of the game last night.
Right, with Kevin Harlan and Candace Parker and Allie Clifton.
And I really liked the broadcast because I mentioned that earlier in the week. I didn't like the NBC broadcast so much. I very much liked the Prime broadcast. But one of the things that Dwayne Wade is talking about in this game, especially as the Lakers are getting destroyed.
I would love to get your thoughts on the NBC broadcast later, though. I'd be curious to see why you don't like it. But go ahead.
And by the way, it was probably only the first NBC broadcast I really, really jumped into this year.
It's okay. We can talk about it later. Finish your thought.
Here's my thought. That when Dwayne Wade is saying to this audience that is watching and listening to this broadcast that the Lakers don't look like they're into the game. They don't look like they're showing any fight. And what he was saying was, this isn't just some random regular season January kind of game, midpoint of the season. He's like, this is your inner city rival. And then, they got into a little bit about how much of a rivalry is it really. But his point was, you're playing against a team in your town. You're on an 8-game road trip. You actually had to come back to your hometown to play in your hometown, to go play in their new arena. And this is the effort that we're seeing. I mean, Dwayne Wade was definitely calling out the entire Laker team for a lack of effort and a lack of fight. Right. And I was like, he's calling it the way he sees it. Now, LeBron can come over and chummy it up with Dwayne Wade, and they can talk all they want in the middle of the game and in the middle of the broadcast. But Dwayne's calling him out. And he wasn't just calling out LeBron. He was calling out the entire Laker team. Where's the fight? Where's the energy? Where's the passion? Where's the competitive nature? And they weren't showing any. So to their credit, to your point, they all of a sudden made a dramatic comeback. And they fought and they battled and they clawed. But they don't have enough, George. They do not have enough roster for roster versus the Clippers. And the Clippers, 26-point lead, you should have buried those dudes. But you let them back in. So if the positive is they showed fight, I'm with you on the positive. If the negative is they don't have enough on this roster and are not likely going to be able to do enough with it this year, that's reality for me. And I will tell you this, just one last thought. You say that the media will kind of blame things. They'll blame LeBron.
I don't know if they'll blame LeBron at this stage.
Here's
that's
why
I'm telling you.
Here's why I say that, though.
I think there will be some blame on LeBron, but it will not be. He's no longer the star on this team.
I agree with you.
So because of that, it's going to fall on Luka's head, man. I'm telling you, Kappy, I've been in this game a long time, okay? Oh, yeah? And I'm telling you, I know how this goes. The blame will go in this direction.
Let me hear
it. In some capacity. Luka, LeBron, JJ, the front office. Okay.
I have a different
and the
order.
roster, the roster, the rest of the roster. It'll be those 5 things, okay, for the most part. And how those things will get divvied up, if I had to guess, it will start to fall on Luka's head more than anyone else.
I will tell you that I'm going to push back on that, and here's what I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
I think that
we'll see in like May. Right?
Yeah, so, but I think here's how the blame will go. I think the blame will go to LeBron first and foremost, and I think that LeBron is essentially the cover for Luka going in for the rest of the season. Or put it this way, for as long as LeBron is on this team, I still think LeBron will take the blame. And here's why. Because after the game last night, I'm not there in the locker room to hear every question, but we see a lot of what happens in the locker room after the game on social media or on, the Comcast post game. And what does everybody do? They want to go to LeBron. They want to talk to LeBron about the article that was written, the reaction that he has, what he thinks, and then what do? They hit him at the end with, do you want to be on this team for the rest of this year? And see, to me, George, they're going to keep going to LeBron for as long as he's on this team. However, to your point, when LeBron's not on this team, and let's presume that's next year, then the blame goes first and foremost to Luka. And you said it about Luka. Hey, Luka, you're in great shape, and you're scoring 30 points every night, but you don't play any defense. And you know what, George? I don't even know if he can play defense.
7:15, we are 15 minutes through the show. In those 15 minutes, you could have gone to
Kappy, to your point about people blaming LeBron instead of Luka, which I don't think it's the case. I feel like it's just kind of like generalized right now. But at what point do people start pointing a finger at Luka and saying, hey, man, play some defense? Like, he doesn't play defense. We all know that.
Well, you're starting to see it already, right? Like, I think that, if you look at the stretch of time, right? Like, I know Perk has been very vocal about Luka needs to play defense on Countdown and on NBA Today. I've seen Matt Barnes and Steven on their show talk about Luka's defense. I think that, and then there was Carmelo, right? Carmelo on his show was doing that. So I think it's starting to become a thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I think it's always been a little bit of a thing, but it's going to become a bigger thing on the Lakers than it was on the Dallas Mavericks.
It should. And you know why? Because you've talked about this, and everybody else who's come into the show who's talked about this, everybody who's an NBA, first person and an NBA expert.
Ball knowers.
What Dallas did was they essentially protected him, or you could say they took advantage of his offensive skills, not requiring him to necessarily have great defensive skills, because we'll put other guys around him because we want you to score. Everybody else, you play defense.
Right. They constructed and crafted a team around him of guys who can shoot the ball and guys who can play defense.
Right. So here's the thing about Luka. Everybody can tell me about Luka needs to play defense. I'm questioning right now, does Luka have that in his game? We know he can score. Last night, he made a three-point shot, George. He's dribbling outside the three-point line. He's being closely defended. He, leans to his left, falls backward, throws the ball up, and drains a three. And all of us are sitting here going, oh, my God, this guy. Man, he can just shoot from anywhere.
Yeah.
Dwayne Wade
he's a wizard on offense.
That play was amazing. But just to get it off track a little bit, how is that not a travel? When he's on his right foot, he's pivoting, and then he leans over, gets onto his left foot, and shoots from there. That's a travel in my mind.
Technically, when it depends on. I'd have to go back watch it frame by frame.
Yeah, I
remember the play, but I was on a flight, so I couldn't rewind.
Mm-hmm.
But it depends, Greg, where he starts to gather. I would say.
No, he's pivoting. So he's pivoting on his right foot, going back and forth.
I can find the play
and
on
moves,
my phone.
and then he leans over to the left, stands on his left foot, and shoots. And he makes the shot, but he uses his left foot. That changes your pivot foot.
Bergie, don't you know that the rules of traveling in the NBA have changed?
Totally.
I mean, now you're allowed to take 7 steps without dribbling, then you're allowed to go to the basket. There is no traveling.
There's videos that are just amazing. What they call the gather and then 7 steps afterwards is is incredible.
Well, I don't think the gather in 7 steps is what it is, but
is it 8
what
steps?
I would say. Here it is. I found it here.
There's There's so much traveling.
But
I was watching him like, how is that not a travel? That was an amazing shot.
Incredible shot. But that's what I'm trying to say to you guys, is that Luka,
Do you remember what quarter that was in?
It was in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me
The
one second.
guy
It might have
is an
been what made it
incredible
93,
offensive player.
91, actually. So probably around the 5.
It was an impactful shot, as I recall. But the guy can shoot. We all get it. The guy can drive the lane. The guy can put the ball up in the air. The guy can do amazing things offensively. He don't play defense. And it's not only because he chooses not to. I question, does he have the capability? He clearly was trained to be an offensive scoring machine, and at that, he is great. However, he doesn't look like, for all of his training as a young kid in Europe, that anybody ever said to him, hey, look, here, there's another side of the floor here, and you got to play defense down there. Because I see him on occasion, he grabs a ball and makes a steal, and you go, hey, way to go, Luka. He's not a defensive player, and he's been given this this role of, you don't have to play defense. We'll get other guys to play defense.
So in this defensive run towards the end, to take it from 26 down to 2, that was something. They did get to 2 as 93-91 at one point. So either way, it was his defense was actually not that bad in there. Him and Rui were very active defensively and blocking off lanes and doing a lot of different things that we haven't seen from them. And if you remember, I talked about it before, and in the Euro League, he was actually looked at as a top defensive player. So I get that it's different games.
Yeah, nobody plays defense.
No, yeah, right. So how is that? How is he such a good defensive player in the Euro League, and has no defensive abilities here in the NBA?
Or
I don't know if he was that good a defender in the EuroLeague. I would just say that he was also playing a different. They're playing a different style of defense there. I would say. What's with the Russian?
Well, the Euro League.
Euros.
Anytime
Russian,
we can work it in.
Right, Euros, Russian.
Have you seen the play yet, Sedano?
I'm watching it here. I'm trying to do it. Twitter won't allow me to do frame by frame, so I may have to record it to do it. But I did see the play. I'd have to slow it down so I can see it better. But his footwork from my phone.
But don't you see the point is that he's a great offensive player. We all understand it. He's not a great defensive player. He's not going to be a great defensive player. Is that because he doesn't have the skill? Is it because he doesn't want to give the effort? Is it because he says, no, I'm an offensive guy. You guys play defense. I don't know what the answer is. But here's what I do know. That, in my opinion, Luka will not start to receive the brunt of the blame until LeBron is gone, because LeBron is still the cover, because LeBron is still the drama, because LeBron is still the story. That's why in the aftermath of the game last night, when all the reporters are standing around him, what are they talking to him about? They're talking to him about his future on the team, and they're talking about his relationship with Jeannie, and they're talking about how upset he might be based on this article. That's the story of the Lakers, the drama. And that's going to be the story, in my opinion, as long as LeBron is on this team.
I guess.
Don't get upset.
Don't
get frustrated. It's early. It's early in the show.
I get it, but it just feels like it's just such a lazy narrative.
Why is it lazy? It's true.
I mean,
Are you telling me that Dave McMenamin is lazy, that he wasted his time last night talking to LeBron about this?
No, I'm not saying that is wasting his time or being lazy.
LeBron ripped podcast too in that comment, but he has a podcast.
He's talking about like the First Take style podcast. So more of like
not like the Rich Paul podcast, or
maybe.
I don't know.
I'm just trying to annoy you.
I mean, listen, you guys used to think he did the rundown. Clearly, he doesn't.